What is obvious is what you see on the screen. There are locks of all types. And when I say no lock is ever made without a key, every lock has got a key, you will say, what is so great about it? It's obvious. Well, the same thing had happened 53 years back in 1965 when I went to the college, and my father told me, son, here is a lock and no lock has ever been made without a key. I also thought so obvious, but those days we didn't question our parents. Today I'm sure a child will say, what dad, what are you telling me? I know about it. Well, we didn't say. So I just looked at him, waiting as to what next he has to say. He says, yes, it's a lock. Every lock is made with a key. Absolutely hunky-dory. Every day there is a lock, you open and go. But what happens when the same lock is there on a door and you don't have the key? So that is first time I came to know what's the difference between a situation and a problem. A situation is something you face every day, handle it. But when you don't have a solution to that situation, it becomes a problem. Now it's the same lock which is there, you don't have the key, it becomes a problem. Right? But how do you solve the problem? Okay, you break the lock, you break the chain, you remove the hinges, you remove the door, you jump over the wall. There are any number of solutions. So when there is a problem, you don't have a key, you look for solutions. But what I want to say is that the same problem at different point of times will have different solutions. It's a daytime. You don't have money. You don't want to break the lock and spoil 200 rupees. Maybe you'll call a locksmith man. He'll take 50 rupees and give you the key. But when you don't have the time, there is a child or some elderly locked inside. There is a fire. You don't bother. You break open everything and you go. So in life, we all come across problems, and this is what we have got. Today, we've got a problem, SDGs. That's why we have got a goals to solve those problems. So there are solutions, right? Now, another thing, no lock comes with a single key. It always comes with double key. So you got a key. So when your cupboard is locked, where is the duplicate key? Inside the cupboard. Your house is locked, where is duplicate key? Inside the house. Why don't you keep the duplicate key in your neighbor or in the other cupboard? That is another point of looking at the problems, and that is where General Patton, one of the biggest generals of Second World War, had said something applicable to every situation. He had said, more you sweat in peace, less you bleed in war. I'll repeat, more you sweat in peace, less you bleed in war. So if you have those 2 minutes to think of leaving your key with the neighbor, well, when that problem comes, you can solve it. Okay, now this is as far as a problem and solving is concerned. So let's move on to the next situation. Many times, there are no obvious solutions, the problems cannot be solved. You can see this building. Anybody, what is it? Come on, it said, yes, Rashtrapati Bhavan. Well, there is a problem. I was conducting a workshop with the school children. I said, gentlemen, there's a problem. I don't know solution. I want to live in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Can you solve the problem for me? Anybody in the audience? I want to live in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Somebody gets this solution. Somebody said this solution. Somebody laughed how it's not possible. I said, why? See, you're not a known man. I said, in the last 5 presidents, 2, 3 of them were not known. They became known only when they moved into that. Nobody knew about them. Well, what happened? Question answers carried on. So there was a young child, started moving the hand from behind. So I said, okay, yeah, sir, I've got a problem. I've got a solution, but I hope you won't feel bad. I said, no, I'll not feel bad. Say. Then the child said, sir, later on my principal sitting here. So I requested, principal ma'am, you will not say, yes. You know the solution the child came out with? Say you learn a new trade, gardener, plumber, cook. That way you will be able to live in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Look at simple solution. But why grown-ups and I could think of are presumptions. The moment I say, I want to live in Rashtrapati Bhavan, everybody thinks I want to be a Rashtrapati. And only day before, I checked up, there are 545 people working in Rashtrapati Bhavan. So living, for me, if I learn a new trade, shouldn't be a problem. So when we look for solutions, don't get stuck. That is what somebody always talks about, out-of-the-box solutions. I didn't want to use that word because it looks high-sounding. Okay, so that is the second part. Like no lock is ever made without a key. There is no problem without a solution. But when it comes to solutions, there are lot many solutions, any number of solutions. But many times, solutions lie outside the scope. We grown-ups can't think what a child can think of. So we should not be presuming things. Well, then it takes me to the third part. Solutions and problems and solving. Now this is a room, any corporate room, any conference room. A similar thing, why it's related, about 10 years back, I was settled in Chandigarh. One of my schoolmates who was director HRD in one of the multinationals, he called up journal and we are talking. He said, Yadharam, there is a problem. He said, last year we had about, 23, 24 engineers and MBA employed, 1 year training, and today except 3, everybody wants to leave. What do I do? I say, you resign. He said, what do you mean? I say, if director HRD, you can't solve the problem, something wrong with you, Ashok. He says, Sale mazak band kar. Do you have a solution? I say, well, I can try. So I went there, as I have been doing a training. I say, you won't tell the students who am I. So I walked in. There were about 23, 24 of them. I said, gentlemen, I'll take 5 minutes. After that, we'll go for a cup of tea. And after that, you will decide whether I should continue with the session or not. So I just started asking, what are you here for? Somebody said something, something, something. I said, okay, tell me, if they are giving you half the salary, would you have joined? No. So I said, basically, you're here for salary. You want good jobs. Other parameters come later. Bottom line is that. Yes, sir. Everybody agreed. I said, why is this company running for last 15 years, struggling and all that? And what is the baseline? They also want more profits. So what is the common link? It's money. Similarly, we've got the SDGs and the CSRs and all that. There is a requirement. The people have to fulfill that requirement. But the two have to look as to what is that common platform. Like in this case, it was money. We broke for tea. And after that, gentleman said, sir, yes, we'd like to continue. I continued a session of 4 hours. Went back to Chandigarh. And 2 days later, my friend said, earlier 3 were staying and today only 3 want to leave. I remember the number 3, but I don't know whether they were 23, 24 and all that. So once we get to what is a common thing, even those problems which seems to be insurmountable are no more problems, right? Now let's go to the fourth and final point I want to make. There's a huge corporate sector. There was a main road. There was a trucker came. It got stuck over there. Block. It happened at about 11:30, nobody bothered. 4:30, one of the departmental foremen saw, he says, this is still stuck over there, another half an hour we have to go, our buses cannot go. So he told his 30 people, he said, go, push it out. Logical thing, I think everybody would do. So his 30 people went and started pushing. Meanwhile, another foreman on the other side of this truck saw the same thing. Again, similar mind, similar problem, similar solutions. He also said, his 30 people, please go and push out the truck. They also there. Nothing happened. So both these foremen came out. What's wrong? Our 30 young people can't push out a truck which is 6 tons. And you know what they found? These 30 are pushing from this end, these 30 are pushing from other end. So there are times somebody wants to do, somebody wants to do. Goal is common, but their direction is not same. They are working in different directions. Both want to go from here to some place. Right, their road may be. If the goal is there, you may be coming from different paths, but your direction has to be, the general direction has to be same. If the direction is not same, things can happen. So this is what is basically with reference to the SDGs, CSR. What is required is what I'll cover in the next 4 slides. Same what I had said. Firstly, every problem has a solution. We have got so many problems. What are the goals? I call them problems. Because if you say goals is something, the moment you remember goal is a problem, it has to be solved. We have to hit the goal. So I'm using the word problem. Then to find solutions, get rid of presumptions. Don't think that it can be done only from within the constraints. Establish the common connection, like the salary or the profits for both the employees and the employer. And finally, the efforts have to be in the same direction. And that is where the word comes, synergy. What is synergy? Systematic energy. Energy in the same direction. So you got a truck, not pushing from either end. Each one trying to do that. Okay. Now, the second last slide. This is a bullseye. Somebody is taking aim and all that. My only question to the audience, even if it's Abhinav Bindra who won the gold in the Olympics, to hit the bullseye, where should he aim at? Anybody? Where should he aim at? At the center of that? Yes or no? No. The person has to aim high. Because what happens, moment you shoot anything, the gravity will pull it down. Every shooter, whether it's an arrow or a bullet, if he has to hit here, he will take aim higher. So when you are doing for a goal, if you want to achieve 100%, there will always be dropouts. There will be always fallback. So aim at 110% if you want to aim 100%. And my final slide, my tribute to whom I consider my guru, President Abdul Kalam. Now he had said, if you wish to leave your footprints on the sands of time, this is what he had said. I have put the initial words and each dot means one more alphabet. Can you complete it? I could have written, but I want you to think about it. If you wish to leave footprints on the sands of time, do not drag your feet. Because once you drag your feet, you will erase those impressions. This also talks about procrastination. Do not delay if you want to do. It happens after the seminar, everybody is charged. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. If you don't do, then next year or next day, after 2-3 days, you'll forget everything about it. Well, that is what I wanted to say. And finally, if you do all that, this is what from my Air Force, if you do that, people will look up to you in awe. Oh my God, wow. Jai Hind.